Hello, hello. It is day 143 of my 365-day raw suspending disbelief journey. Actually, I'm recording this on day 144, and that is because last night I was in no mood. So I wound up yesterday hitting a wall, and that wall was because I had overextended myself and my services, my offers, my availability, all of the things. I opened up my calendar like crazy. And here's the thing. If I wasn't having all the website issues, if I wasn't having to rebuild all of that, if I wasn't, there's so many pieces that come into play here. When I first opened up that much availability, I could have handled the amount of bookings that I got. However, there were two things that I did not consider, and one was outside of my ability to consider, and that was the website garbage happening. The other was I forgot to mark off my energetically low week in September. So for any of you who are in my world, usually, you know that I talk frequently about working with our hormonal, energetic, cyclical energy as women. And I don't mainly talk about that, but I mention it a lot, and I reference my business partner and bestie, Caitlin Signorelli, who is the expert in that area. And she absolutely changed the energy game for me with working for myself. So I try always to schedule around what my energy is going to be like, because it is fairly predictable. It's a little bit flexible, but it is fairly predictable that at certain times of the month I will have less energy, and at other times I will have more. So I do try to schedule around that and block off a few days to an entire week a month where I don't have my calendar open for bookings, because I'm not going to have the energy to deliver on those bookings that week. And when I opened up my calendar extra for September, because of all of the birthday offers that I was dropping all through the month of August, I forgot to block that week out. And so on top of, going full out for all of August, and on top of now dealing with all of this website stuff and having this endless to-do list of things that have to happen, now I'm also booked out on my calendar, and part of me just wants to go like, yay, that's incredible, and it really is. But also, I wanted to be booked out before I had all of this stuff to fix on the back end. And I wanted to be booked out before, or I would have wanted to be booked out not during that point of the month, where my energy is low. So I ended up going from this very over the top, as far as being active daily online and all of that month of August, straight into and overlapping with all of the troubles with my website, and then straight into being super busy and having to do all of it manually. So that was the worst part. And I know that I've mentioned it a couple of times, but not only was I super busy, but I'm having to send out the links manually every time. I'm sending out reminders manually every time. I'm sending out the follow-up emails manually every time. All of the pieces that normally are automated for me and I haven't had to do manually for a long time, I've been doing manually. And not just for the occasional booking here and there like I had before, but now for this.
abundance of bookings, and I am so grateful to be fully booked. But what I did not think ahead about, aside from booking that week off, was that I should have opened fewer spots per month spread out over months for all of these offers that I was putting out in August. So people would have just booked later but been paying now, kind of thing. Because going from 0 to 100 is like getting whiplash, and just, it was too much. And then on top of that, to be going into now the second or third week of this, or like just, I'm coming into the end of the second week of this busyness, on top of the pressure to get my website rebuilt so that I have things automated and I don't have to do them all manually, on top of doing them all manually, and on top of regular life. And then also to be maintaining that momentum of sharing, right? I have still been, I have still been sharing. I have still been selling. I have still been filling more spots, right? So I didn't stop selling at the end of August. I continued to share and sell, and that's okay. And it's good. And the momentum is great. And like, this is why I've doubled my revenue for the first chunk of, like the month to date revenue for the first chunk of the month. But all of a sudden yesterday, and I mean, it was a little bit the day before too, but not as much as yesterday. All of a sudden I was finding myself really angry, a lot, just really aggravated, really irritable, really frustrated by everything that normally I wouldn't be. And it got to the point by the end of the night, I was like, I don't even want to see my dog. Like, that's how bad it was. And I was like, Cadence, you need to take the dog. He's going to sleep with you tonight. I don't even want him to sleep in my room with me. Like, I was done. And I was clearing my energy, and I was, smudging the house, and I was doing all of these things, and I took a salt bath, and all of it finally got me to the point where I realized, okay, I overdid it. This is why I'm feeling this way, right? And I was just still pushing through before that and not really realizing why I was feeling the way I was feeling. So I rescheduled the call that I had for the morning for today, the actual today of Friday the 13th. And I decided I'm going to take all of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off and not work. At least not outwardly, not be engaging with other people, not be mixing my energy with other people's, and just be able to be inwards with myself to restore and rejuvenate. Obviously still will be around my kids and my dog. and actually on Saturday I have a barbecue I'm going to go to at my dad's, and all of this stuff. But my online and my calls and all of that, I've just put a pause on. I need a break, and I'm going to take it. And I think the anger was coming from this feeling of, it was mostly anger at myself. It was this feeling of, I know better, right? I have learned not to overextend myself. I have learned not to overbook myself. I have learned not to schedule during this week where I'm so exhausted and I'm a little extra moody. And I did it anyway, right? And so it was just, I was so frustrated, and I think, on the edge of burnout. And I've hit burnout before, and it's awful. And I think that my body was actually just physically reacting to this, knowing that burnout was coming. So thankfully I was able to recognize that and take action to stop it from happening, right? To press pause and shut it down for a little while so that I can get back to me and come back to calm and refill my cup, right? So yeah, that was yesterday. I had so many calls and live interviews and podcast recordings and all these things. And it was just way too much. It was way too much on probably my lowest energy day of the month. And so my body and my mind were rejecting that and were reacting to that. And I mean, it's a confirmation and a solidification of a lesson that I already know, that I've already learned. and and then also a practice in giving myself grace for, just because I know something or just because I've learned it doesn't mean that I'm never going to screw up or that I'm never going to slip a little bit. So yeah, that is sort of what the energy of yesterday was, of day 143. And I will share all about rejuvenating my energy in tonight's episode. So I will talk to you all then.